In my other video, I just talked about the NAR settlement on the recent Burnett lawsuits and the huge change that is coming out in the real estate industries that could disrupt the current business model and consumers' buying and selling process. In case if you haven't seen it or don't know what I'm talking about, check out my other video in this channel. I will also include a video link in the description. But in this video, I want to talk about something else that a lot of people are asking as a result of this settlement. You see, if the rule does take effect in July 2024 this year, most of the buyers are probably going to consider going to the listing agent directly in order to avoid being on the hook for paying buyer agent commission. So therefore, the question becomes, are buyer agents even necessary when you're buying a home? Let's explore this question in this video. Do you really need a buyer agent when you buy a home? Well, first of all, full disclosure, I am a real estate agent here in the Bay Area. I make a living helping people buy and sell homes here. And a portion of my business is to help buyers, especially first-time home buyer buying their first home. So regarding to whether buyer agents are needed or not, I am going to answer it differently in this video. Instead of listing all of the wonderful things I do, or I think I do, I'm going to list all of the challenges that buyers have to overcome in order to successfully purchase their dream home, and then see how each challenge can be overcome with or without an agent. So at the end, you decide how you would approach these challenges. And hey, maybe indeed you don't need a buyer's agent. So let's start. Number one, finding a home. I have to admit, I don't do a lot of this for my clients because most of them search for homes on Zillow themselves. I try not to send them homes that they don't like because what they say they like versus what I think they like are often different. So I'd rather have them search homes on their own and then let me know which one they like. That way I know what they like more accurately. So I would say for this challenge or task, the difficulty level is low, and the 99% of the time, you can do it on your own without an agent. Number two, touring a home. This task will need an agent involved, unless you're checking out a for sale by owner listing. Most of the properties that are for sale are listed with an agent. So if you want to see this property, the showing will need to be coordinated. Hiring a buyer's agent to help you make those phone calls will make your life so much easier. However, you can make those calls yourself too. If the property offers open house on the weekends, even better. You can just show up. So I would say the difficulty level on this one is low. And for the most part, you don't need a buyer's agent. Unless you're super busy with your life, then it's recommended to have someone help you with setting up showings. Task 3, that's a big one, which is analyzing the property. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. When you are buying a home, especially a pre-owned home, how do you know that you're buying the right house? You need to do a lot of research and analysis as part of your due diligence. This is where the deal is made or broken. So let me break it down to you how I would approach this challenge. Now, in my opinion, analyzing the property means 3 things, major things: property condition due diligence, location due diligence, and market condition due diligence. So let's tackle each one. To analyze the condition of the property, there are third-party home inspection companies that will do that for you. There are licensed home inspection professionals that will go look at the homes and create a laundry list of issues, big or small, and for a fee. So in that regard, I'm going to ask you, the buyer, a few questions. 1, are you familiar with reading home inspection report? 2, do you know the actual dollar amount that's involved with making these repairs? Because they're not on the report. 3, do you know the significance of each repair items and know what's critical and what's not? 4, do you trust this third-party professionals who basically is a stranger with everything he or she inspected? I'm not saying they don't know what they're doing, but if you're not familiar with home repairs or home maintenance yourself, you are literally 100% dependent on a stranger's opinion. Now, how would that make you feel when the transaction involves a lot of money? Now, of course, if you know home construction and repairs very well, maybe you are a home service pro or a trade specialist yourself, then you absolutely do your own analysis. You probably don't even need to hire a home inspector. But for the average consumers who are not familiar with home maintenance, this task can be daunting. Now, you may say, well, can I just go to the listing agent and get all the information, right? Yes, you might. However, remember, the listing agent doesn't represent you, nor do they owe you any service. So you will still need to do your own homework and make your own decision without guidance. Again, depending on your experience level, this may or may not be a big deal. So I would rate the property due diligence to be a difficult task, and a good, trusted, and experienced buyer agent will definitely help a big time. Now, on a side note, some of the videos on my channel is geared towards helping first-time home buyer doing their analysis, like what to do if the property is old and has lead paint or asbestos, what if the property has unpermitted work done or code violations, and etc. So make sure you check some of those videos out. Now, in addition, I have been working really hard to put together a home buyer online course that you can study at your own pace. The course will come with tools and information that teaches you how to do your own property analysis with live cases and examples of me going into the property and filming where I find defects, issues about the property condition or the location. I truly believe that it will help you tremendously when you are buying a home, or when you need guidance to make decisions. This course should be available in a few months, and I will keep you guys posted on my channel. But if you are interested in knowing more about what this course includes, feel free to DM me or email me at bojieteam@gmail.com. And all right, let's get back to the analysis. Besides analyzing the property, the location itself is another important analysis. Are you familiar with the nuances that come with certain locations, such as flood zones, earthquakes, liquefactions, fire hazards, or environmental toxic pollution Superfund sites? Again, that is a lot of research analysis. My online course will help cover some of these topics as well, but for now, location analysis is easier to done than property conditions. And once you've done your research, you don't have to do it again for another property in the same neighborhood. So having an experienced agent can definitely help you. However, you can also do it yourself. Just make sure you come up with every questions and concerns you can think of about a location, and don't be shy. Go talk to some of the residents in that neighborhood and you should be covered. So I would rate location due diligence to be the difficulty to be medium. Now, you've done your property due diligence and location due diligence, and you know the home isn't perfect, as no homes are. But how do you translate these flaws and imperfections into the actual dollar amount on your contract? Well, this is when the market expert knowledge comes into play. Of course, you may say, well, I know my limit. I won't go a penny over the X amount. Well, how do you know your expectation is aligned with the current market condition? Or you'll be wasting your time. You need to know in today's market, a property with an old roof is not going to affect the offer price the same way it did 6 months ago or 30 years ago when your parents were buying homes. How about that old water heater? Homes in flood zones versus the one that's not. If you really like the home and you're willing to deal with some of the imperfections, you need to know how much these homes are actually worth with the imperfection. There are different ways and approaches that you can do to find the right comparables and make the right value adjustment. If you are a professional investor, you're buying homes all the time, and you probably your own market expert. But if you are an average consumer who's busy with work, you may not. The wrong expectation could cost you the opportunity or result in you overpaying. So I would say this task is difficult, but can be done without agents depending on your knowledge and risk tolerance. Now, full disclosure again. Whenever I go buy an investment property in another market, I would always consult with an agent there because I don't know that market and I don't know what I don't know. So I like to play safe. The next task is contract. So if you have done all the research and homework and now it's time to take action, you need to know how to make an offer in writing. So do you need an agent to write an offer? In order to answer this question, let me back up a little bit and explain to you how the system works. You see, we realtors are members of a bunch of governing bodies, one of them being NAR, of course, but we're also members of California Association of Realtors. So one of the things that comes with being a member of so many organizations is to get access to all the contracts and forms and different things before and during the contract phase. If you want to use these forms and templates, then yes, you'll need a realtor or work with a realtor. But the law doesn't require buyers to use certain contract or when they make an offer. So therefore, you can hire an attorney to write your offer. In fact, I believe some of the biggest investors and institutions all do that when they make offers. They have their own legal department. So the answer to this question is no, you don't need an agent to write an offer, but most end up using one. Next up, negotiations. In real estate, since everything is negotiable, you're probably going to want to negotiate. Of course you do. But do I need an agent to help me negotiate? Technically, all of the negotiations are done with a bunch of paperwork, addendums that you can either use a realtor or pay additional retainer fees for your lawyers. But that's not technically what you're looking for. I'm sure you want to know how to negotiate so that you can actually get what you want out of the deal, right? That's when experience comes in. The experience with contract itself, as well as the human interactions and leverage, plays a big part of a successful negotiation. Now remember, things will come up during transaction that you will want to renegotiate. Maybe your loan needs a few extra days to close. Maybe you have discovered new defect about the property that wasn't disclosed before. Maybe the seller or the tenant needs extra days to pack up so that they can deliver the house to you on time. And there could be so many possibilities after you sign the initial contract. How do you protect yourself and still ask for what you want without going through a ton of stress and headache? How do you minimize the risk while you are under contract? A lot of these requires careful pre-planning so you can avoid the situation altogether, but also learning the situation and knowing how to read between the lines to navigate the ins and outs of the contract is important and require a lot of experience and familiarity of the process. So how would I rate the difficulty level here? Well, the task itself is easy, but getting the result can be difficult depending on what you want, your expectation given the situation. If you would like to change your mind on the fly and then reopen the negotiation, it's going to be very difficult. Otherwise, I say most people are reasonable and accommodating if you start with the right foot. So on this task, it really depends on your pre-planning and your clear communication of what you want. But nonetheless, you do need a professional to help you with the task. Now, on both contract and negotiation, the question becomes, can I just go to the listing or the seller agent directly instead of hiring a buyer's agent? The answer is absolutely yes, you can. And your experience of doing that will differ case by case. After all, the seller's agent has a binding work agreement with the seller to protect the seller's benefit. Therefore, in most cases, you're left to fend for yourself during the contract. However, if you arm yourself with knowledge and get educated with the home buying process and take the time to do your research and due diligence and make sure you ask the right question and be flexible with your demands, I'm sure things will work out fine if you decide to represent yourself. In fact, I want this channel's content to be more educational place for average home buyers to come learn and expand. Only when you are aware of what you need to know, then you can find the right knowledge and, more importantly, get the right type of help when you decide to do so. So like and subscribe to my channel, and I will constantly be putting out more educational contents for you. Anyways, now you can see, depending on your own level of experience and knowledge, different level of service would be right for you. Now, of all of the previously mentioned challenge and task when it comes to buying a home, I mean, the home searching, the home touring, the home condition research, the location due diligence, the market due diligence, the contract, and the negotiation. Which area do you think is the most challenging for you when you are buying your first home, or if you are currently in the process of buying a home? Comment down below and let me know. So, to answer the question of whether a buyer's agent is necessary or even worth it, it really depends on the ability to solve these problems, challenges, either by you or by your agent. But either way, I think it's always important for you to arm yourself with knowledge and familiarity when it comes to home buying and home property analysis, so that if you do decide to hire an agent, you know how to find the right agent. That's what I hope my channel and my future home buying online course will accomplish for you and all other real estate consumers. And of course, I'll keep you posted on the progress of my first time home buyer course. But at the meantime, if you have any questions or need any guidance with your home buying journey, feel free to reach out privately, and I always love to help. With that, thank you for tuning in, and see you on the next video.